Hello YouTube. Today I decided to do a game review on a couple games because you see it's homework day. I'm bored as hell. And if you know me, I'm good in school to an extent, but I procrastinate. Like that should have been done last week. But you know me. Anyway, the first game I'd like to review is something I picked up at I think Walmart. It's called the Strongholds Collection, and it's actually more than one game. It's Stronghold, Stronghold 2, Stronghold Crusader, Stronghold Crusader Extreme, and Stronghold Legends. Now, let's see. I haven't played Strongholds because for some reason it wouldn't run on my computer, which is a newer computer. So I've settled for Stronghold 2, and this is the only one I've really played recently. Hello, up here. Camera. Hello, camera guy. Anyway, see, yeah, man, a freaking monkey working the camera. Hello. Anyway, where's the camera? There you go. Sorry, camera guy's like on drugs here. So, well, Stronghold 2. I mean, from what I've played so far, it seems like it's an older game. I'll provide the link, should be right here. So, look at the bottom of the screen. If it's there, it should be there. It's a pretty decent game. Of course, it's medieval RTS, which I've been out of the game so long I can't remember what that is. But I'm sure it's real-time scenario. There we go, that's what it was. Now it means that everything's happening real-time. So it's a pretty decent game. I've been playing it. I mean, some of the aspects are a little off. I mean, the graphics aren't that great. But overall, it's a good game. I'd give it about a 6, maybe a 5. Just because, I don't know, it depends. Yeah, you gotta grade it based on the year. And if I'm going by the year, whenever this was made, I'd give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 based on the year. And then the second game I'd like to review, excuse me, is Raiderz with a Z. And no, I'm not talking about the football. I'm talking about the game by Perfect World International. Now, here's the thing about Perfect World. You gotta understand that Perfect World, it's an okay, they're an okay game company. Some of their games, not that great. Some of their games, damn. Like, Blacklight Retribution. Yeah, that's one of the good ones. Star Trek Online, they got some decent graphics on that one. But that one's by Cyber something. Was it, I can't remember which one it was. Yeah, anyway. So, Raiderz is one of their newer ones. I mean, I've been trying to get on the pre-release, and I managed to get on it for a brief period of time, but didn't play it that much. And it's a pretty decent game as well. I mean, graphics are what you'd expect from Perfect World International. They're not the best, but there's far worse out there. And I'd give that game... Well, it's different, so say about a 7. I'll give it a 7. And if you're wondering who am I to rate these games, I mean, what do I know, right? You don't know about my gaming days. Well, I used to own 2 gaming companies, and what we did was we'd have a GTD department, which is a game testing department, and we'd pay our game testers over $100 an hour just to play games that just came out. So our testers were trained, and a lot of them made games themselves on their own MMO engines. So they know what they're talking about, they know what they're doing, and they're pretty decent. So, I mean, our guys know our stuff. And if you're wondering what I'm looking at over there, it's, I have my laptop hooked up to a huge TV, which I'll show you guys later. It's a little bigger than the one you see in the back there. So, yeah, that's what I keep staring at. Because nothing is actually on my computer screen, so I'm just staring at a picture of my family. So I keep glancing over to make sure this thing's not messing up as usual. And another game that I want to bring a shout out to is a game called Hellgate Global. Well, actually, I don't think it's Hellgate Global. I just think it's Hellgate. And I mean, you've got to check this game out. And the reason I say that is because usually, if you pick a game, it's generic to a time period. For example, you go to World of Warcraft's a bad example because it's kind of the same deal. A little, not as much. But for example, RuneScape. I mean, swords, shields, that's the deal. You go into Raiders, swords, shields, that's your deal. You go to Star Trek, you got phasers, you don't really have too much swords except for, of course, the Klingons. So, I mean, this game has got armor customization where you can customize the armor out the ass. It's ridiculous. And then you can have a gun in one hand, a sword in the other hand, and a shield on your back. I mean, you've got force fields, you've got shields, you've got guns, you have swords, you have like electrical powers. I mean, everything you can think of to fight off demons, you've got. And it's an intense game, and the graphics are pretty good, and they can run on low system, which is awesome. So you're not spending a lot of time dicking around trying to get everything running smoothly. It just set the graphics a little lower, and they still look awesome. And it's there, and you get to. I can't even remember the classes, but I mean, and the way it works is, like, if I attack a monster that's, say, 2 levels higher than me, I'm not going to get any experience from it. I have to attack something my level. But they, of course, can kill me, and I can kill them if I'm good enough, but I probably won't get the experience. So Hellgate Global, opening rifts and demons and all that, that's a good one. Speaking of rifts, let's move on to the game Rift. I've heard a lot about it in the past, but I've never actually had a chance to play it. So I made a free account, of course, and before I go any further, I'm gonna add a link right up there, and it's gonna have a link. Hopefully I can link it. I'm not 100%, but it'll link to my WoW character, which is what, level 77 or 76, something like that. I know I have a couple levels up in the high 70s, low 80s maybe. It's been a while, so I've already beat the game StarCraft. And again, down at the bottom of the screen, I'm posting a link to my GameSpot profile. I have a collection that is insane. In fact, I've gotten a couple of achievements for my collection. I mean, I have over 200 games, well over 200 games in my collection. And that was way back, and I have not recently updated that list, so there's tons more I have to add to it. And that's going to be a ridiculous amount. I might hit the 400s in games that I actually own. And so I do have credentials in terms of game design. I've made my own MMOs. I've made my own MMO engines. So all this stuff, and if you don't know what an MMO is, it's a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, MMORPG, but MMO for short, massive. Massive multiplayer online, you get the idea, and it's better than an RPG role-playing game. I mean, I like RPGs too, but you get the idea. So, yeah, and there's a game called, what's it called? Cable Online, which, if you are not familiar, I am the Crimson Knight, which you've probably not played the game before. I can't even remember who makes it. But it's a decent game, and you can't see the other person's level. You can pretend to be a low level. That's what I did with my character. I was such a high level. I had all the insane glowing armor, and I took it all off, put on some bronze armor, and went around saying, hey, would you duel me? And then people who knew the Crimson Knight were like, no, he can take a level 70, and he's only, when I was a level 40, I was taking level 70s. I mean, it was that kind of deal. So I think a duel lasts 3 minutes. If you last that, you win the duel. Well, you just tie out the duel, so nobody wins. But I mean, if you stand in there, and there's some insane combos. But yeah, you can look that up on MySpace. I'm not going to post the link to that. But I am the Crimson Knight, and that was a legendary player on there. So I do know what I'm talking about in terms of games. And let's see, any other games that I'd like to review today. Have I ever done one on World of Warcraft? Probably not. It's a decent game. It's going places. I've just been too lazy to re-up on my subscription, so I mean, I might not. I'm playing Star Trek. I put $100 into it, so I mean, I bought myself a couple ships, and hopefully, I'm gonna go somewhere with that, some armor. But those are my reviews, and again, the link is down there at the bottom of the screen. Um, and by this point, all of them are gonna be. So I hope you enjoy, and see ya.